Hello, I'm Alida, your writing coach at Word Essential. Today's 60-second writing tip is about writing short fiction. When it comes to writing short fiction, the key is to think small, because when your story is short, you'll need fewer elements to fill it up. Writing short stories isn't harder than writing a novel, but it also isn't easier. It's different. The main difference is that a short story has to be tight. No one has ever written a sprawling short story. And the shorter the story, the less room you have to work story elements into your narrative. So to begin with, focus on one point of view character. Typically, that's all you'll have. It is certainly all you need. Now, you could write a short story with 2 or 3 or an omniscient point of view, of course. But if you're new to writing short fiction, start with the single point of view to help you learn to create a powerful yet compact narrative. Short stories are a great way to showcase an emotion, an idea, or a single event. So conceive of a compelling moment in the life of a character that readers will identify with and care about. Because short stories are short, you don't need to do too much development or backstory for your characters, not as much as you would for a novel. You do need to know your character, but you're presenting the reader with a slice of that person's life, not a whole biography and not as full of a character arc. Your protagonist should be changed at the end of the story, but you can leave much for the reader to infer, to imagine for herself as she digests the story. And that change doesn't have to be earth-shattering, just intriguing, just worthy of our consideration. Leave the reader with something to think about when the story ends. Ambiguous endings, melancholy endings, pensive, funny, and strange endings, they're all good. The thing about the short story is it should linger with the reader after the final punctuation. It's not that you want us to want more, it's that what we got, we can't quite shake it. That's because good short stories are memorable. If you want to write short stories, the best thing you can do is to read short stories. Begin with anthologies. Prize anthologies are a good way to start. The Pen O. Henry, the Pushcart Prize, also literary journals that publish short stories. That way, you'll get a variety of subject matter and styles. Now, if you like to read or write science fiction or romance, look for journals in that genre. As you read, study and analyze the story. Ask what effect the story has on you as a reader. Then figure out how the author accomplished that, especially in that compact format. Take notes on what you discover, and whether you might like to do something similar in your work, or not. On the Storyworks Roundtable, we did a 3-part series on short stories. That is a great place to start. We selected 3 stories that you can read online before you watch the episodes. Links are in the show notes. Then come listen to our conversation about the stories and further your own insights. And please, let us know what you think at the Storyworks Writers Facebook group. All right, let's distill that down into your 60-second writing tip. If you want to write short stories, first off, think small. Begin with a single point of view character. Instead of considering a big plot arc with a great big climax, think about an idea, an event, or an emotion, something that will fit in 5,000 to 10,000 words. Showcase that one compelling aspect and craft a tight narrative around it. You do need to know your character, and your character should be changed at the end of the story, but you don't need to do as much developmental work as you would in a novel. You can leave the ending ambiguous. Give the reader something to ruminate after that final punctuation mark. And whatever you do, make your story memorable. A great way to learn how to write short stories is to read short stories, of course. Start with anthologies so that you get lots of different voices and styles. Also, check out the Storyworks Roundtable 3-part series on the short story. That's it for today's Word Essential 60-second writing tip. Thank you so much for watching. You can find all of my tips and my editing services at wordessential.com. Have a great writing day.